Do a quick little mic test.
Mikey Mike.
Cool.
Sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls. Do a little intro. Nice. Reminds me of, you've seen Yuru Camp, the city in the background? Laid Back Camp, that anime. That's what I like about this campsite. I guess in Japan they have like a lot of, kind of like this style, not always like super in the forest like us. So I really like it. What's up, campers? Welcome to episode 14 of the Campthropology podcast. It has been a while since we've done an episode, but this episode is going to be not like the other episodes, but I think equally or even more so of value. We have Molly back from episode 12.
What's up?
What up? We are out here at Dixon Lake in Escondido, California. Pretty cool little campground. We came out just for a one-nighter specifically to record this podcast because we are talking today about all the stuff you've probably heard through social media and through the news about REI. And Molly just wrote a paper on it, so it's fresh in her mind. And before she goes on her road trip, we wanted to get it out. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I feel like we talk about quite a bit. Yeah. Not necessarily always on social media, but obviously REI is a brand that we all know and love. Being outdoors is a great place for us to get things, information. They once had classes. So we'll just kind of be talking about everything that's kind of going on, some of our opinions, as well as like what we can do as individuals, as well as kind of the mindset with something like this that's kind of hard to navigate, something that we all love, doing something that is or not great, but giving them the space to also reconcile with us. Being a co-op, I feel like there's not a lot of co-ops out there that listen to the members, so we'll just kind of get into it. Molly, you want to kind of take it away for us and see what we're going to talk about? I guess we can start with like the four kind of things we'll be talking about.
Yeah, so before we started recording, we were talking about the main issues that REI is dealing with right now. So you might have seen on social media, there's a ton of backlash in the last couple of months. One of the main issues being the labor unions. And not that that's an issue that people are unionizing, but in just the general like employee culture that REI is creating and how negative it's turned out to be, and how they also aren't really coming to the table promptly to address everybody's concerns. I think that the labor union messaging is super cool. They've actually outlined their demands in the same style of a camping checklist. And before we get into why I don't think REI is going to be able to meet the demands as they need to, another issue that we have going on is the Doug Burgum sign off. So
endorsement.
Yeah. So REI joined in what would you call it? Like an industry letter to endorse Doug Burgum for the Department of Interior. And in that, I wanted, have you ever heard of the CEO, Sally Jewell, for REI? So Sally Jewell was the CEO for REI when Obama went into his administration. And Obama actually picked the CEO from REI to take that position as the Department of Interior head. So it's interesting that we've gone from an area where REI was such like a high, like a really revered company within the outdoor space to actually have that person plucked from the CEO into the actual like government administration, to then us, like I say us is because we are members, right?
Co-op members for sure.
To be signing off on somebody that doesn't stand for the things that REI messages.
Yeah, almost the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like personally a lot of the pushback is if you're going to put a message, kind of like walk your talk kind of thing, especially because a lot of times when businesses I feel like have their image or their optics, things can change behind the scenes that don't necessarily align with it. And I think that happens with all businesses. Like no business is going to be able to completely follow, especially in the United States, just with it's kind of the nature of the beast. But I think that we kind of give him a chance, like, can you kind of get into like what's been happening since the endorsement and stuff?
Yeah, well, there was a huge pushback on social media, and REI heard. They closed their comments, which was really unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
They would post about it and then close their comments.
Yeah, and then they really haven't been posting as regularly as they did before that incident happened. So it's kind of this like, almost like silencing anybody's opinion, right?
Which was not a good look.
It's not a good look at all. And, when that endorsement happened, Eric Ortiz was the CEO. And most recently, they've accepted a new CEO. I think she started as of March.
Very recent.
Yeah. And that's Mary Beth Lofton. For the purpose of this pod, we'll call her as she likes to be called, which is MB.
MB.
Yeah.
Okay.
And MB has addressed that that was a huge mistake. I think she addressed it before the annual member meeting that just happened like 2 weeks ago. We're in like mid-May right now. And then she addressed it again during the annual member meeting. Yeah. So it kind of seems like, from an outside perspective, maybe it was kind of like a kiss the ring type of thing. They thought that endorsement might give them a seat at the table, I think is the way that MB put it.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, but it's kind of like,
yeah. What was the intentions behind that completely?
Yeah, it's messy. I mean, a business makes a decision like that, and you almost wonder if, like, they're making it because they want to make it, they're making it because of their intention behind it, or they're making it because they think that nobody's listening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And REI is a huge membership. There's like 20 million members or something like that. I mean, at least a million are going to hear about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like, I don't know, it's like with other industries, not only are they going to hear about it, a lot of the members are on social media. A lot of them, they utilize influencers quite a bit.
Yeah.
So to hear, it's almost like, you're not going to be able to sneak this one by,
Absolutely
for sure.
not.
Yeah. And I feel like, so when MB did, they actually put that in Instagram posts, I think.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they're still pinned, but I remember seeing it very recently, and they opened up the comments after those videos were posted. And I believe the REI Union was also commenting on, too, like, it's the right direction step, like, now what?
Yeah.
Kind of scenario.
REI is kind of caught in this mess of like, well, we gotcha.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
Another big issue that came out very recently is that they found that their Latin American factory sources aren't meeting the REI standard that's set forth. Which the REI standard for fair labor practices is much higher than the international. But again, it's one of those things where, like, you guys aren't doing what you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
So how are you going to address that? And I haven't seen too much messaging from REI about how they are going to address that, other than just like throwing it in the general pile that they have going on right now.
That they need to address eventually. Yeah. So it's probably just like, let's tackle one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And then I know I listened to a podcast where this kind of got on my radar and kind of deep dive. There's 3 episodes by The Art of Citizenry that goes into those 3 topics, the endorsement, labor, as well as sourcing. That if anybody wants more, I can link that podcast in the links for this video. But another thing that I kept on bringing up, is specifically talking about sourcing, since we're kind of on that topic. When I was at UCSD, one of my professors, didn't have to do with REI, but basically his dissertation was talking about sourcing in general. So one of the projects that we had is like pick any product, any company, and basically go as far back as you can to see if you can see where that thing was either grown, put in the ground, sourced from, manufactured, made. I want to say his dissertation was specifically talking about leather. So he basically wanted to, like, if you buy, a product from a leather company that says they're, ethically sourced, everything, he was like, can I trace the parents of where the cow that I'm wearing came from, And he said it was extremely hard. I mean, he had a whole dissertation on it. Even the project in school, it's like you can call and trace back to a point, and that point's not very far. It's maybe like 3 or 4 phone calls, and then like you stop getting answers.
Yeah.
So I think that it's like when the United States in general, or just anything gets popular and there's an appetite for it, and you need so much of something, it's hard to maintain that completely ethical sourcing from, either, seed to table or whatever it kind of is.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that is an extremely hard. I'm interested to see once they kind of start tackling that fire, like what they would say,
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that dissertation. Like, the U.S. economy thrives on the enslavement of other countries. Like, our economy has to grow, so somebody's going to take the fall. And it's really unfortunate that we've set our GDP up in that way. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that we'll get into later about, like, what's the best plan of attack for us as far as how we spend our dollars.
Yeah.
And it's that I could go off on that for a long time.
Yeah, because I think a lot of times like we lose sight of the business aspect of it, and it takes money to do things, and it takes money to do good, and it takes money to do bad. Another book that I'm listening to right now is Let My People Go Surfing, or Let My People Surf, by the Patagonia CEO. And he was saying, so obviously Patagonia is like extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And it really put into perspective to me, it's like, yes, they do have good quality gear, and I think this book's pretty old. But I know at one point in time, and it seems like he's a pretty steadfast dude, they treat every partner and every source like a full partnership, and they've established different funds for countries from which they're sourcing from, that the workers and the communities that they're in, to be able to do things for like community development. I'm wondering if REI has anything like that set up, but that from that book, from Let My People Surf, that seems like an incredibly expensive, incredibly detailed and time-consuming thing to do the right thing, And I feel like for a company that's around for so long, it's really hard to do that. To also keep tabs of all your employees and all your entire C-suite team, and making sure everybody's, because sometimes it's like, well, let's just do this because it makes it easier. It starts like that, and then it's like kind of a slippery slope after that. And I can see things going haywire pretty hard, especially because if we're talking about, if it's so hard to trace, the lineage of a product, it's almost like, well, no one's gonna find out about it anyways. I might as well do it,
Yeah.
But I think it's like our job as responsible consumers to also have conversations like this, even if we don't exactly know. It's to have in your mind when you're purchasing something, And for me, it's like, okay, I can not only is Patagonia gear extremely good. I mean, it's Patagucci. Everybody's right. Like it does its job, but part of that is I didn't realize how much of their price incorporates also supporting communities and supporting ethical sourcing. I'd be interested to see a more modern analysis on Patagonia, but because I've kind of been listening to those podcasts and also listening to that book in parallel, so it really just kind of pulls the veil back of these big companies. It's not easy to be ethical. I think
it's absolutely not.
Yeah, especially it's a balance, because I feel like part of us doing outdoor stuff and a lot of influencers, like we want people to get outdoors. So if you want people to get outdoors, you kind of need stuff to be accessible. And that's when the numbers come into play. It's like kind of sidetracked, but like a lot of people see me and they're like, and I'm a big advocate, and this is also hot take, super controversial. We've kind of talked about this before, is like, if the only price point you can afford gear is Walmart, I say do it.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, I feel like if you're able to get outside by any means you can, and you start to really enjoy it, hopefully you'll start to care more and be more of a conscious consumer. So in the long run, yes, you supported, corporate Walmart at the beginning, but I don't know, I just feel like the magic of outdoors turns the light on inside you, so that in the future you will start to be more conscious about the environment in general, not just the products, but like the holistic side of like how the outdoors kind of like can help you heal, you know?
Well, everybody has to take a first step, you know?
For sure.
And for a lot of people, that is Ozark Trails.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you know?
Yeah.
Buy it and use it. And then if you find yourself camping like 20 weekends a year, you're probably going to end up buying something that's higher quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not all of us are gearheads like the two of us that
Yeah,
went out
yeah.
and bought the top of the line to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, it's just everybody's different style as their entry into the outdoor space. And definitely no shade for...
Yeah. 100%. You know, people are always like, well, why don't you use Walmart stuff? A lot of my beginning stuff was Walmart, you know? But I always say it's like, we like, you, for example, your X-Ped just took a poop.
Yeah.
And the first thing I asked you was like, how many nights have you slept on that thing?
Yeah. The answer was 700.
700 nights. So
yeah, we're in the 700s for sure.
And I'm really curious about things like that. Like, I guarantee you, well, maybe you know how they have like, I always see those machines of like those testers. So they have like a big like a, you know, like a, it almost looks like a punching bag, and it just goes doof, 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 you know. But I wonder if they have one, like if they really inflated it, deflated it.
That's me. That's what I did in real time.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And I think people that camp as much as us, we tend to want to spend the money something lasts 700 inflation or nights rather than, I mean, even 200 is a lot, you know. And for the average camper, maybe going out on the high end 20 nights a year, you know, that cheaper gear is going to last you quite a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that, you know, kind of with the sourcing thing, it's like kind of goes back to where you want your money to be, you know.
Yeah, like I used to work for Greenpeace. Did I ever tell you
yeah,
about that?
Yeah.
So I used to work for Greenpeace, and I was doing messaging outside of a local Walmart, and I was talking about one of the major tuna companies, maybe like Sunkist or something like that. And at the time, I had already decided I wasn't going to buy anything from Walmart. I now buy my rubbing alcohol from Walmart, and that's about it. But I thought it was really interesting to talk to people, starting with tuna and then moving on to like, yeah, you know, like you could also make better decisions in your own purchasing, like not shaming them, just talking shop and like, yeah, you know, like it's really important that we spend every dollar like it is a vote and put it towards the future that we want to see.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all these are really complicated issues, but it's like, yes, we want you to be in the outdoors. Yes, buy it at any cost you can. But if you can afford it, buy something that's more quality to treat yourself.
Yeah.
And also to treat the outdoor recreation economy, which is really big compared to other like smaller economies in the U.S. And it's actually outpacing the growth of the regular GDP by like, I think 4% or something like that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that's a good thing. People are liking the outdoors.
People are liking the outdoors. Yeah, it's been a huge response, especially in the post-COVID world.
Oh, yeah. I feel like there's a little dip, but I feel like now people are back.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
for sure.
Looking at the numbers, I would say people came back.
Yeah.
And now they're not coming back as much.
Yeah.
It already has that fast of a turnaround.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because also, that's a good point. The voting with your dollar thing is the boycott with REI. You know, like, so I feel like I saw a lot of creators saying, don't buy REI.
Yeah.
You know, like full blown boycott. I actually I unfollowed REI just for like, I don't know, I unfollowed REI and started following all of the unions. I don't know why. It was just like, I felt like it was like a little corner of the world where in my feed I wanted to prioritize seeing union stuff. But I think it was Patagonia.
She's good.
Yeah.
We love her.
I think that was the first post that I saw. I think maybe the only one too, where she was like, this isn't a complete boycott, it's a pause. You know? Because I think ultimately, taking into consideration how they rolled back their endorsement, it's the right steps.
Yeah.
You know? And you were saying that REI is not big enough of a company to endure a full boycott?
No. And REI has not been doing well year over year for the last 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And if this continues on this downtrend, I mean, even if we stabilize in the 2025 fiscal year, REI is probably going to see some pretty major, what did I call it? The words left me. Roland gave me a sidewalk slammer before this.
I'll post a picture so it sounds like we're struggling a little bit.
Because we had a few.
Yeah.
They're going to have to roll, like, they've already liquidated a lot of their properties in the last year. They've already let go of over 1,000 employees. They ended the outdoor education and adventure programming.
Yeah.
And they've also reduced the actual, like, inventory that they have. So they're doing everything right now internally to try and stay afloat.
Yeah.
And if the numbers keep decreasing, there's definitely going to be a rollback. I think there's going to be a ton more layoffs. There's going to be stores closing eventually. And REI is just not capable. I mean, no company is capable of losing money year after year and staying open.
Yeah.
And even in the 2024 report just came out. So it's like 2023 was the bad year. So they lost over $300 million. And then in this 2024 report, they lost about 150, around there. But even with the loss of 150, they were able to still give between 8 to 9 million to their nonprofit partners. So they're still donating. And they also increased their employee incentives by like 50%. So I think that was like either a total or an increase by 85 million.
Okay.
So those are sizable numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not that they aren't trying, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing to remember in definitely the concepts of like, this isn't a boycott, this is a pause.
Yeah.
And we need to let REI know that we're listening. Everybody needs to write a letter to Chris Carr or MB and let them know what they want to see in the co-op moving forward.
Yeah. And you said that they're through the union website is the portal that you can write letters.
Yeah, there's a really clean portal to write letters. It gives you, like, the union gives you the messaging that they want to see in the letter, but you can write any messaging that you want.
Yeah. Can I tell them to take Snow Peak prices down?
You could tell Snow Peak to take.
I know, right? I'll try. I'm doing what I can. So they've definitely, I feel like they felt it through the pause too.
Yeah.
And in combination with the pause and in combination with, I feel like, just a lot of the traction. Because I feel like the outdoor community is like, I don't know, it kind of feels like relatively small to me. Weirdly, the influencer aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah.
And so obviously the outdoor community is huge, but when you have such a, like, I guess, small amount of influencers, especially all of us that are co-op members and loyal to REI, when people start making noise, it's really heard.
Yeah. Well, it's like a double-edged sword, right? They use a lot of social media partnerships to increase their diversity in their marketing, but at the same time, in increasing all that diversity for people that aren't specifically hired just to sing the high praises of REI, you're gonna get a lot of pushback.
Oh yeah,
like people have their name on it.
Yeah.
So they want to see an REI that they want to see. You know?
Yeah, 100%. Because it's always like, I feel like, as someone who has also worked with REI in the past, you always think it's like, oh, the the corporations that kind of like, hire you, obviously they like you, but for me, my personal experience is almost like, oh, I don't want to fuck up because I don't want to tarnish their name. But this is kind of like the opposite swing of like a lot of influencers, especially I feel like a lot of the influencers are a lot of like advocates and activists as well. So seeing them speak out, I think definitely has a huge impact, especially when I'm curious to know if anybody, it'd be cool to see like a compilation of like, or a list of a lot of the influencers that were talking about it, because also too, kind of side note, as an influencer, if there's any influencers listening, this is one of my big...
You're an influencer?
No.
This is weird.
I'm under the influence. That's what I meant. but like, just seeing, like, in those contracts, a lot of times even REI wanted rights basically in perpetuity, and a little snippet for anybody that's looking to get into creator spaces. I personally never do in perpetuity right contracts, and that's what every company wants to do, is because, and I've seen, I don't know if they're how new the ads are or how old the ads are, but like, so REI is like, you know, they're in the hot seat. If they own your content in perpetuity, they can be like, oh, everybody loves this creator, let's start pushing their content again, you know. And then if you're someone that's like, oh, I'm not really cool with that, it's like you're kind of shit out of luck because they own your content, you know, and you signed all the right. Were those coyotes? I don't know. There's a lot of coyotes here.
I think we're still in the dog section of
the night. Yeah. not quite coyote section yet. Yeah. But yeah, so it's like it's a very personal issue to a lot of us, you know, that you know. There's an REI tent right there that I'm going to sleep in tonight that Molly set up for me.
We're going to bust his REI cherry tonight.
I know. I don't think I've ever slept in an REI tent. I think I've crawled in one at the store, but that's about it.
Well, I would like to ask, like, what makes you want to buy from REI, or what got you to buy from REI in the first place?
I think really, as far as availability and not just shopping online, I think a lot of times as a gearhead, a big plus for a purchase, if you can go in and like feel it, you know, like pack it, learn about it, have it be tangible in your hands. And really, I'm not super aware of a lot of, like, I guess outfitters or like outdoor supply stores, like even in San Diego. Like we had one in Oceanside when we were growing up called, was it Adventure 19?
Oh yeah.
Remember that was right there on Coast Highway?
Yeah.
And I remember going in, and I wasn't even like really like outdoorsy, quote unquote, back then. But I just liked going in there and looking at all the shit, to be honest. Like it was like a kid in a candy store. So I really like having that tangible. And so once I started getting into the outdoors, I feel like the first time, I'm trying to think of the first time I ever went into an REI. I think it was probably like 2016 when I first started getting into outdoor stuff. And I probably just Googled like camping store, you know, and it came up, and that's where I started going. And then the co-op, you know, joining the co-op and getting the discounts and the dividends too was a big plus, especially when you kind of spend as much money there as like we do, you know. So yeah, I feel like that's what I like about it, you know. And the staff's always really knowledgeable too. I think that's one of the things that the union was saying is like there's so much more than just like people that check you out or people that like, oh yeah, here, like they're not just stocking shelves. A lot of those people are like extremely knowledgeable about gear, and that value is what they're saying. It should be compensated, you know, appropriately, because I mean, not to get dramatic, but like a lot of times if you're going on extreme trips, like, and you're looking at gear, obviously you should be doing your own research, but it can be the deciding factor in like a super good trip or a trip that like really sucks. You know, like I wouldn't say life or death, but who knows, maybe for climbers, like if you're a new climber and you're looking for gear and like you need to be safe out there, like I guarantee you all those people in the climbing section at REI know their shit. Yeah. I very highly doubt they'd be like, oh, I couldn't just get this, you know, because every time I've heard them talking and about camping gear or climbing gear, it's like those people are passionate about what they do, and they're passionate about sharing knowledge, and that's valuable. You know, that's extremely valuable. Yeah,
I think it's interesting that to work at an REI retail store is actually like a really specialized job.
Yeah, totally.
And that's really nothing that REI has to outright invest in. You know, it's
people just love it and they want to work there.
Yeah, it's like having a certification, but not an actual like certificate.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
Yeah, so I think that especially being a specialized retailer that depends on the education of their workers, you got to throw in a couple extra bones for that.
Yeah.
Or at least make sure that that person can continue their outdoor experience. Like if, you know, all you have to do is work, or you don't have a schedule that is solidified and you have to be on call all the time, you aren't going to get the opportunity to go out there and experience the outdoors. And I think that's something that REI really needs to improve on. Yeah.
And you were saying that in that kind of extended metaphor of the packaging of what kind of the things that they're asking for, that was like hydration, right?
So the REI co-op, or excuse me, the REI Union has listed a bunch of demands that are outlined the same as the packing list. And I think the 2 points that REI might not be successful in meeting the demands is Definitely the hydration factor. So making sure that they're fully staffed, because I do see cuts coming. That's my best estimate, allegedly.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other one is just job security. So making sure that they have a regular schedule so that they can actually be able to go out and afford the outdoors and explore the outdoors.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. If you're not making enough, if you're not making enough money to the point where you basically have to pick up every single shift, the outdoors is a hobby that requires you to not be, even if like it was some type of remote situation, if you were like a little higher up, like that's really difficult to still kind of balance your outdoor lifestyle, which brought you to the job, but also make enough to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, it's like you get fat discounts on gear, but at what cost?
Yeah.
The cost of your hobby.
You're like, I have all this gear just sitting in my garage now.
Yeah. But, I think like REI is the largest outdoor no, maybe they're not. They're the largest cooperative outdoor retailer. Mm-hmm. And in that, and one success that they had this last year is that they were able to divert 90% of their waste from the landfill. And that's the largest U.S. retailer that's been able to accomplish that.
Wow.
So again, it's not like they're not trying. It's just that they're not, they set a high standard for themselves. They have a consumer that really pays attention to what they're doing.
Yeah, totally.
And now it's time to put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
So I really have a lot of hope that this MB is going to be able to turn stuff around.
Yeah.
In the most recent annual member meeting that just happened a couple weeks ago, she was talking about opening more of a portal for us as consumers to be able to give REI feedback. Mm-hmm. And that should be coming as early as June.
Wow, like on their website?
No, like I think letters.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, wow. Like a survey for us to respond to.
That would be great.
Yeah, right?
Because I think, it is also super cool because I feel like there's no other co-op that I'm a part of. Even just like when everybody was voting, it was cool to like, even though I know there was a bunch of stuff like wrong with like the logistics of voting, mm-hmm. It was really cool to see that it worked.
Yeah.
So for something to have, if they're going to have some type of portal to write a letter, I think that's great. One of the things that I really look up to, not to bring Snow Peak into this again.
Oh no.
I love Snow Peak. That's kind of like one of their philosophies, and I guess in the 90s they had, for no particular reason that I've known, but like I think it was just like they were losing touch with their consumers. Mm-hmm. So that's actually why Snow Peak Way started, was a chance for basically like their management all the way down to their floor employees, as well as inviting their consumer base to come camp with them and basically be like, I think it was more like gear oriented, like they were having trouble pacing with gear, but like getting feedback from the people that are using their stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of companies don't care, or they only care when they see the numbers going up and down. Yeah. So to actually, I guess it'd be like qualitative versus quantitative, like having a qualitative avenue to voice opinions for a company that you're a co-op member of. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's supposed to roll out as soon as
June.
Oh shit. Wow.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. So that's that huge step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And
if it happens.
Yeah.
When it happens.
When it happens.
Get on it, MB.
Yeah. Or else we're just going to start sending paper letters. And not paper, because that cuts down trees.
Yeah. Actually, you can email us. I'll respond to an email.
Yeah. Or just start blowing up how long can a comment be? Should we just write it in the comment section?
Yeah, the U.S. economy is really complicated. This whole REI situation is really complicated. Yeah. But I don't really see any alternatives for anybody that's trying as hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Bass Pro Shops is trying that hard.
Yeah.
I don't think Cabela's is trying that hard.
Yeah.
And I know Walmart ain't trying.
They ain't trying
nothing.
Shit. Yeah.
Ain't trying nothing.
Yeah. So I think it's important, like I know cancel culture is a big thing that got in 2020, you know, and I think there are instances where that is the right course of action, but I don't think this is one of those situations.
Yeah.
For sure. It's like there has to be some leeway unless we want it to go completely away.
Yeah.
You know, in order to keep it above ground, hopefully to get it thriving one day and thriving in the right ways so that they can live up to their standard, which is our standard too. I mean, I feel like it's one thing to set a standard, but when your consumers also want you to set that standard, like get behind it, you know, you gotta walk your talk.
Yeah.
And that even if you stumble a little bit, I'm hoping that the consumers will be there to be the guardrails, basically, you know, not just let them fall completely off and not also just kick them over 100%.
Yeah.
So they're not there anymore.
So, I mean, REI co-op members have made their messaging clear in denying every single one of the board members up for election this year.
Yeah.
There has been a lot of call-outs that they want somebody that's a labor-forward person to take on one of those chair positions. However, you have to be approved by the board to run for the board.
Oh, and that's one of those amendments they made like in the early 2000s or something?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. But they did respond to that during the REI annual meeting, and they said that nobody met the people that were up met the qualifications. So what that means to me is that right now they really aren't focusing on labor rights as the forefront because the whole cooperative's in danger.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, they're really trying to save the ship right now. That's the way I see it. And I know it could be taken in a whole bunch of other different ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's a matter of opinion on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think that as a whole right now, the C-suite and the board of directors is just doing everything they can to try and keep the co-op afloat because I don't see it lasting too much longer with the trends that are going on currently.
If it's not there, you can't fix it, you know?
Yeah.
So when another thing I was going to ask you, and you might have told this to me off pod before, but when with the layoffs that they've been doing, are those at what level of, like, that's like floor team, or is that like corporate when the layoffs that they've had?
So the majority of the layoffs have been at the headquarters level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that probably was why they didn't lose so much money this year, even though they had less sales revenue. So they had less money coming in, but they didn't lose as much. Probably because they just a bunch of people.
Yeah.
As well as liquidated a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah. I didn't realize they were also liquidating real estate as well.
Yeah, they actually, I have an idea that maybe that's why they moved the REI here in Carlsbad too.
Oh, yeah. Which is, yeah. Have you been to the new one?
I have.
How do you like it?
It feels just like every other REI.
Yeah.
I miss the building. I like the cute little building that we had in Leucadia that was a 2-story.
Yeah, yeah.
The open floor plan is really confusing to me. Like, I like the smaller floor plan.
Close upstairs, gear downstairs.
Yeah.
Me too.
And it was like a nice little like loop. It felt more like the way that you're naturally led like a cow through a grocery store.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of like a little like, what?
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like
I need a damn light. Where is it?
Exactly. And two, I'm wondering inventory wise, I feel like it's more, maybe because the clothes is mixed in because it's all one floor. I feel like it's less gear.
Yeah. No, that's not. That's actually happening.
Okay.
So they're making more money off of clothes right now than they are gear. So they're shifting towards
that. Man,
yeah,
everybody wants a Gorp core.
Get the Arcterix.
Get the Arcterix. So
is it Arcterix?
I don't even know.
I'm too poor.
Get the pterodactyl. Get the pterodactyl. I just call it pterodactyl.
My gold standard is Patagooch. It doesn't go any higher than
that. Patagooch is like me super splurging like once every few years down.
Yeah.
And I always get actually I did splurge with that bomber jacket because I'm a plus size person, the 2X is always on the sales rack. But also too, that's why if you ever see me, and it was my profile picture for the longest time, that fucking bright lime green down, that 300 fill, because without fail, that size and that color in 2X is going to be on the sales rack.
Yeah, this is your wardrobe is preset for you.
It's all the loud colors that I guess no one likes. Because even the blue one that I got this year, also on the sales rack, and it was also in a 2X. And because literally with Patagonia, for a black anything,
you got to pay a lot of money for black.
Yeah, what?
It goes with everything.
I know. Jeez, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna get the whatever, like the sales rack. That's my every few years when I need a new down,
Mm-hmm.
But also too, I didn't realize, talking about Patagonia again, their like their repair and warranty is like extremely good.
Oh.
There was a podcast I was listening to. In some places, I don't know how old the podcast was, but they were saying that in some places they even have like a little van that they have that you can take your gear to, and they'll like patch it, fix a zipper, do kind of anything with it, to get it back to, so you don't so the longevity of their product, so they don't you don't just buy a new one. So it's like the opposite of like what they call it, like fast fashion, and you can basically, you can send anything back, and they'll basically try their hardest to get it back into a condition that's usable. And I feel like a lot of brands also do that. And I feel like that the premiums we pay when we're buying the higher end brands, a lot of the times it's for the warranty, like they'll replace it, or they'll fix it. I feel like more now they're trying to fix it because, like I said, diverting stuff from the landfill.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a really good avenue too, so when you're voting with your dollar to spend with brands that are doing that. I don't know if REI has a repair program specifically
For their clothes?
Yeah, for clothing.
No, I'm a little haunted by their buyback program.
Wait, why? So how so?
So they have the new resupply program, right?
Yeah.
And, I've been an REI member for a while.
Back in the garage days.
I miss the garage sales so much. They were so fun.
Yeah.
Now we just have that stinky corner of the store.
Stinky corner.
It always stinks. It smells like the pair of climbing shoes that I returned because they were too stinky one time.
Oh yeah. Were they resupply? Or you made them stinky?
They were resupply. But yeah, I miss the garage store days. And if you've ever been to one of those like resupply, like actual stores,
not the move.
It's not the move.
We were trying to go to
I'm
one.
voting it down.
Down vote for resupply.
It needs to be attached to a laundromat.
Yeah, it's just like a big stinky store.
It's so stinky.
It's like bowling shoes.
Yeah, the last one I went to was in Portland, and I was like,
where's the resupply down here?
It's maybe like Orange County.
Orange County, yeah, because we were gonna go after Expo, but we didn't end up going.
We didn't end up doing anything after Expo. We
I
didn't
know.
even make it to Expo Day 2.
I know, yeah. Everything kind of fell apart there. Yeah, and I felt bad because Jordan got super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everybody was concerned for him as well.
I got to take a little break and put my Patagonia jacket on with
Dude, yeah, I'm getting
5,000 pieces of tape on it.
Should I put my Patty 2 on?
Yeah.
My bomber? All right, let's do it. All right, let's take a little quick break. And I'm going to grab another beer. All right, we're back. We got our Patagucci on. Get a little warm just so we can enjoy a cold one, which is how it always works. I got 2, got a modal, and Molly turned me on to these.
Molly's favorite,
pickle beer, which I like pickles, but I can see how people that don't like pickles would not like it. But it's not super it's like a good balance. Cheers.
You'll relish every sip.
It literally says that on the can. Cheers. Boom. So, back to it. We had one over why I kind of started and how I started my journey being a co-op member of REI. What about you?
So for me, my journey into the outdoors was out of desperation.
Yeah.
And I really didn't have money to buy good quality gear when I started. So buying from a company that backed all their products with a return.
Yes, because at the beginning too, it was for the lifetime returns. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's within a year, which is fine.
Still great. Yeah.
Yeah. The way I spend money is I do like to buy a quality product once. Mm-hmm. That's just the style I roll with.
Yeah.
So I did save and scrape to be able to buy good quality products that I did research the absolute heck out of.
Yeah.
And REI was the one-stop shop to provide that to me, and having that return policy really was like, okay, I feel good about spending my money here.
Yeah, it's like buy it nice or buy it twice, but when you have the return policy, it's like even if you do go nice and it's not for you, you can always return it.
Yeah, buy once, cry once.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So I think now moving on, let's talk about what we want to see in REI going into the future.
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean, first and foremost, they need to settle up with their unions.
Yeah.
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 They got to come to the table. They said in the annual meeting that they've tentatively met 85 different points of contention.
Oh, wow.
But they got to just finish it.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason they aren't finishing it is because the oncoming of downsizing the company.
Yeah.
And with the unions, they made a really nice portal to be able to write directly to MB in what we want to see in the co-op as a co-op member, writing directly to the CEO. Mm-hmm. And the union left a bunch of suggested messaging for your letter to MB. And when I was writing, I ended up just writing something that was just kind of giving them permission to downsize.
Okay.
I feel like that is where we're headed. And to be honest, like, I'd rather see a smaller company that does a good job than a bigger company that's sloppy. And I think that's kind of like a huge problem in the American economy, is that there's some small businesses out there that I absolutely love and I 100% stand by. Yeah. And even some I've gotten the opportunity to work for. But it's like the larger you get, the more holes in the system just start appearing.
Totally. Bigger room, the margin for error is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Something that I don't know if this would even be feasible, but I actually had this idea initially for Amazon employees. So I got it from Amazon. So, sometimes you can say, it's like, oh, if on your Prime Day, they'll give you $2 cyber dollars, right? Or whatever. I was like, well, what if pooled together, no, actually I want that cyber dollar to go to a pool tip for the drivers or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what if it was something what if we could have an option to put our dividend towards a staff fund for the workers?
Okay.
Because it's a sacrifice, and I understand that every dollar counts for all of us, Mm-hmm. But I think to be part of a co-op and to kind of do the right thing, everybody has to sacrifice a little bit. So, what if on our, member portals where it tells you where your dividend is, you can be like, I want this to go back to the staff specifically, mm-hmm. the floor staff. Yeah. That, I mean, it probably won't be huge, I know, but who knows? If it's kind of like us as co-op members walking our talk as well. Yeah. If we want to support the people, and just like we said, they're specialized in what they're doing. Mm-hmm. If REI, as part of supporting the co-op and the staff, if REI is in the process of downsizing to stay afloat and to have a ship to fix in the first place, maybe we can help them. We can step up in the small amount. It'd be interesting to see if they trialed something like that, how much it would make an impact.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to have an option, right?
Yeah. And like I said, it's optional. You can choose, I want to, burn my X amount of money, or give it to a pool that maybe the unions can fund the unions or something like that. Not even if it doesn't necessarily go to distributing the cash to the staff, it can go to having the unions having some money to, do whatever they're doing, because obviously it all costs money. Even organizing costs money. So that'd be something pretty cool.
Yeah, I think REI does have an interesting setup, because there's the REI Cooperative Action Network.
Okay.
And that's basically this entity that's separate from the co-op. It's a nonprofit, and the money that goes into that is what gets divided between the community partners. Not even, maybe community partners isn't the right way to say it, the nonprofit partnerships that REI is backing, getting people outdoors.
Yeah. And so a lot of those nonprofits, are they the ones that they're obviously advocating for being outdoors, but having workshops and stuff? Because I feel like that was a big hit too. It was almost consecutive, a few things that everybody was like, ooh, 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 in a row, Uh-huh. So having the classes taken away I feel like that's pretty big.
Yeah, that was a huge loss. I mourn it personally.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the numbers of that adventure programming, first off, rest in peace to the almost 500 employees they had to let go when they ended that programming.
Yeah.
And then it was never profitable in the first place, which is kind of crazy. Even if in its biggest, most profitable year in 2019, it still lost money. And I know
the classes program.
Yeah,
Wow.
the classes
Yeah.
and adventure programming.
Yeah.
And we're here at Dixon Lake, and I said the last time I was here was for an REI Compass class.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I also participated in they had women only classes, which were super cool. I
Yeah.
took an outdoor climbing class, and I also did their 4-day through hike of the Superstition Mountains, which was also a women only
hell
class
yeah. I
too.
didn't know that. Sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I spent a lot of money in 2019
Yeah.
to try and keep that program afloat, but it's, it still wasn't enough. And in looking at the overall numbers of the 20 million members, only 0.4% of the members actually ever use that program to begin with.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I wonder, because I feel like I always knew about the classes, but I never kind of felt it was like the forefront of like promotion wise, maybe because it wasn't that profitable,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And that, I guess that kind of be a double-edged, like to spend money to promote something that they weren't sure would be profitable. I don't know, man. I feel like that kind of says a lot about outdoors people. Were the classes expensive? That was the price a barrier?
They were a little expensive.
That could definitely be a thing too.
Yeah, it was kind of like my parents.
Yeah.
They 1 year they were like, pick any of the adventures and you get to do it. So I did the Superstition Mountain hike. It was between that and like a really cool like kayak through the San Juan Islands, like a multi-day kayak adventure.
Yeah.
Which I'm still kicking myself that I didn't find time to do that before the whole program went kaputs.
Dude, I'm surprised, dude, because I've had a lot of companies even approach me, like I forget what the name is, to do like a lot of like content creators are doing trips for their communities.
Mm-hmm.
What if REI like partnered with those creators? So it's like a combo. It's like, yeah, you get to hang out with your favorite creator, one.
Yeah.
But it's also an educational class for REI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even like if they had like a portion of that. It doesn't have to be like entirely for REI, but like, I don't know, like if we did a trip where people could come and camp or do whatever with us, and one of those days REI sponsored and a portion of the proceeds went to REI,
Mm-hmm.
as well. I don't think I've ever seen that from REI to do something like that.
It would be cool that if obviously REI couldn't fit the bill to keep that program afloat, but there are companies that just specialize in that. I think it'd be cool if they like brought them in
Totally.
so that REI members have like a direct like, okay, the adventure program is gone, I could go to this company instead.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's one really cool company I saw pop up. I think it's called TSX Challenge.
Okay.
And they're doing through hikes. I saw recently they did a Lost Coast hike, which sounds
Ooh.
really cool. That's a
PNW?
What?
PNW? Or is that considered PNW?
Yeah.
Lost Coast?
It's like
I don't want to get into that. I know it's a big debate for people. Yeah.
I say it's
Central Cal?
it's Humboldt County, which I feel like Humboldt County, I recently moved from there. It's like you get the PNW weather, but you pay the California taxes. It's kind of like
Yeah. It all comes down to numbers.
yeah. Let's see.
But I feel like that'd be I don't know, like a lot of cool things. Like I think that'd be really cool to like, because a lot of times for me, even like I've considered, there's a couple groups that do like group trips, and the ones that always drawn me to is not just hang out with the crew, but also have like some kind of educational component, whether it's like cooking or like survival or some type of outdoor education. If I was in PNW or next time I want to go up to one of the trips have you heard of Camp Yoshi?
No.
That Richard puts on? Mm-mm. Their trip seems super cool, super curated, and it seems like there is like a more educational aspect to it. But yeah, I feel like there's such a need for it, like
Yeah.
I'm so curious, and that's why I kind of brought up the price point is like, why wouldn't there be more people doing classes? So in me, now I'm asking myself, like, why I never did one of the REI classes. Why did I never go, And part of it is because I think if it was, like I said, if it was marketed better, I might have took initiative to do it. One of the ones I did really was going to do is the Compass one that you took, because that's something that I really want to learn. But I don't know, I feel like that's such a huge... It's like kind of one of those things where you can try to generate some sort of income without having a physical product. Like placing more value on education for people, I think is a kind of a good business move. Maybe not business, but like for like the health of your company, you know?
Yeah, well,
And
it gives an incentive to spend more money.
yeah,
You're getting turned on to new hobbies.
Yeah. True.
From a company. Where are you going to buy those products at?
Yeah.
Probably REI.
Yeah, 100%. Did you buy a compass from REI?
I did.
Did they have an option to like, hey, did they have like a gear suggestion for like their classes?
I don't.
That you could like, hey, if you're going to come to this class, here's like a suggested list of like beginner, intermediate, and like because I'm sure compasses can go from super expensive to like, you know, beginner.
Yeah, I don't remember any messaging like that for the compass class, but definitely for the through hike through the Superstition Wilderness, there was a suggested packing list.
Totally.
I don't think they listed like specific products.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a general packing list.
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about like businesses too that carry just too many products, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like
yeah.
I think in having this idea of like a consumer society with like just 3,000 different water bottles, right?
Yeah.
Just show me the best 2 or 3 water bottles. Like that's what I like to see in a company. That's what I like to see in a small grocery store. That's what I like to see in small outfitters. Shout out Adventure's Edge.
Yo.
Yo. So I think that's kind of a side issue. Just in like, I don't want to be overwhelmed with a ton of different products. Just give me the one good one that's going to do a good job, and I'll buy it.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like that would do good for people that kind of like have like analysis paralysis, where it's like, man, I don't know what to choose because it's so many. And if you're it's like again back to education. If you're going to provide a huge net of products, like you should be countering and trying to alleviate that analysis paralysis by having a lot of education about the products.
Yeah,
you know, because I feel like it's good to have. Because I feel like outdoors is such a subjective thing. It's good to have options, but there comes a point where it's like too much.
Yeah,
you know. And there was something I was going to say about the classes. Oh, do they still have their gear rental programs?
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything about that in a while.
That was nothing I ever utilized. I would assume that they definitely have it for the ski and snowboard programs.
Yeah.
But I can't say much of anything else.
Huh? Yeah, because I haven't heard. Kind of the same amount of promotion that I heard for gear rentals is kind of like with class. I feel like with classes a little more, but I'd be super curious and what their like pricing was for gear rentals, because I think we tried to rent some stuff when we went up to Portland, and then I think it was more of a logistics things as far as driving around and returning it. But yeah, I don't know. That's super interesting. Like if I rented a backpack to, you know, up here, could I return it at a different REI up there? Is it like the U-Haul method? You know, the U-Haul thing?
We have too many backpacks here.
Yeah.
You got to go down to Barry Mesa.
They'd all end up in like Portland. You know, everybody going up there. But yeah, what was another during our break? Another point we were going to talk about too.
Well, I mean, they addressed it a little bit. It's kind of something that hasn't been talked about too much, though, in that they need to you need to go through their supply chain again.
Yeah.
Really investigate that and make sure they're living up to their own standards.
Yeah.
And we as consumers also need to recognize that if there are some huge issues in that, you might need to pay more.
Yeah.
For better products.
Yeah. That's kind of like what Yvonne was saying with Patagonia, is like that's part of their premium price, is making sure that they're able to do their due diligence, because it's a super hands-on process, you know.
Yeah.
Because as much as a company, you're like, and I think that's why Yvonne was saying they treat their supply chain like a full partnership, because I mean, I work with contractors at work too, so it's like you can go to the first meeting and they can promise you all this stuff, and if you just put the trust in them that they're going to do it, if your company's not cutting corners, that's not to say that your supply chain is not cutting corners.
Right.
You know, if you're not constantly checking up on them, constantly looking at like QC, good practices, it can very easily slip through the cracks, especially when you're sourcing from countries outside of the United States, you know, because our demand will grow, and they're like, well, shit, to meet that, like, we kind of got to do this. And then if you're not checking on it, like, no, don't do that. Whether it's a time issue, whether it's a quality issue, you got to kind of not only trust your suppliers, but also give them the means to do things the right way, which all costs money, you know. In like you're saying, in the business world, time is money. So even things like delays or rushing QC, or like, you know, kind of looking away from like for where your sources are getting their sources for their raw materials from, it's a long chain. It's a huge chain that, I mean, it seems like impossible to like monitor all the time, but just like understanding those best, like, I guess, business practices, not from just REI or the business, but their entire supply chain, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's important when we're dropping money on good quality products that, you know, they are good quality products from the beginning to in my hand.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm wondering if there's I know, like, it's probably hard to be extremely transparent, but if all companies in general, you know, especially the ones that we have a affiliation with and that we also trust and use, like, what transparency looks like for them. Like, I highly doubt in a lot of companies there's a section on their website where there is like, hey, this is how, like, our sourcing stuff, this is the processes that we go, these are, you know, best management practices. That'd be cool to also see, I guess, just more transparency. And I think also too, like, I feel like in transparency, you're not always going to see that it's perfect.
Yeah.
So I think we as consumers have to also give them a chance to right the ship, kind of like we're talking about now.
Yeah, the REI business model is really interesting because since they aren't a publicly traded company, they don't have to do quarterly reports in the same way that a typical company would.
Yeah.
So they supplement it with these annual impact reports, but it's also not really, doesn't seem like it's too fact-checked. So it's kind of like, as me, you know, being a very skeptical person, I'm reading through their impact reports and I'm seeing a lot of things that I like, but it's hard to put my trust in that when at the same time in my other ear, you know, I'm hearing like the Artist Industry Citizenry podcast and I'm hearing this report coming out and I'm hearing the unions not being happy.
Yeah.
It's like, I do recognize that REI is doing a good job. Really, when it comes down to it, as far as a major outdoor retailer, they are our best option, period.
Yeah.
It's just I think they need to reintroduce their own checks and balances.
Yeah.
And make that available to us.
And it'd be cool to if they took input from us when they're developing those checks and balances.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like not redefining, but reinventing themselves. It's an opportunity to reinvent themselves while incorporating more co-op and union participation in whatever they move forward with would be ideal, I think.
Yeah, I think the idea of that all these challenges present a lot of opportunities for them to make it right.
Totally. And I mean, even it's like, as far as like trying to reach that high standard that they're setting, you know, understanding that it'll take time to get there. Yeah. Ultimately.
It'll take time, and we are in a extremely volatile economy right now, to say the least.
Yeah.
So, as MB said, tumultuous times may be ahead.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think personally, as far as shopping at REI, we've had this conversation off pod, but to continue supporting them.
Yeah,
ultimately.
I'm 100% going to keep shopping in REI.
Yeah.
They're doing their Memorial Day sale, and I have a disgusting list going on. I just want to pick it up when it's at a coupon, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And I do want to continue to support REI instead of supporting any other source for me to get my outdoor gear. I do have hope that they are going to turn things around. Yeah. And that is where I am voting with my dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah. So I think so. So I was paused for a while, and I was getting a little frustrated because I wanted to. I just like go. Honestly, I'm just like, when that dividend hits, I never know what I kind of want. I just like to go and just fucking window shop and find something. But I think after the conversations that we've had, definitely it's an unpause for me, for sure. Because I think they got the message, like you're saying. I think they got the message. So now that they are taking steps in the right direction, we have to positively reinforce that, you know. But like, everybody's entitled to, you know, do whatever and spend their money wherever and however they want. But I think you and me personally will be doing it. I'm gonna sleep in that REI tent tonight.
Yeah, he's gonna sleep in my REI tent from...
You said it might be haunted?
I've had some haunting camping experiences in
Is
there.
that the tent from Vallecitos?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a Vallecitos tent for sure.
Where that mouse was using it as a slide?
Yeah, you're lucky the moon's not out tonight, or else I'd bring a mouse into camp.
Oh my God.
Just
Now
to relive it.
now I'm a little scared.
No, you'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, ever since I built out my car, I haven't slept in a tent.
I know. I cruised up here and I was like, why does Molly have a tent outside? This is like weird. I thought it was like, I was literally looking around. I was like, does she have someone with her? I was like, what the heck? Yeah. Yes, that's so when we camp, I'm always like the tent camper. And I'm always like, okay, I guess I'm just going to be outside here. I've gotten soft. I used to solo camp so much, but now that we have all the homies to camp with, I've gotten soft. I can't even remember the last time I soloed. And it was a lot for a while there. I like it, though. Yeah.
I was about to be like, I don't remember either, but it was like 2 weeks ago.
Where'd you go 2 weeks ago?
I did a round trip in the Mojave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, duh. Yeah, I was watching all your stories from that.
Yeah. I got a little weird.
Yeah, yeah. So even in that, got a little weird. You got to explain that now.
Oh. Just having a lot of alone time. It really helps you like connect to your outside surroundings. And I was working on an art project, and the title of my art project at first was Lost. But then I actually found another word that I heard somebody talking about grieving, and they were talking about this feeling of untetheredness, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the new word.
Untethered.
Untethered.
I like that.
So I found this like weird connection in where, I'm disconnecting from society. I'm disconnecting from my technology. I'm disconnecting from the people and anything that grounds me to find this like weird poetic idea of untetheredness. And that untetheredness is also the thing that keeps me safe because I'm completely locked into my surroundings. Right? So it's just like not only untethered in like a way of feeling like aloof, but also untethered in the way that you're super like right there in the moment. Yeah, yeah.
And I think we were talking about that on our last camping trip, that's not really something that I've heard as far as people like talking about, this is how I solo camp and stay safe and also feel safe too. I feel like a big part of staying safe is feeling safe and being confident in your, not necessarily just your ability, but just like the physical aspect of feeling safe in your environment, whether you feel like you're prepared or not. So you were saying that sometimes you'll just like cruise up to a spot, and before you start setting stuff up, taking it out of your car, you scope it out.
Yeah, 100%. Anytime I roll up to a BLM spot, especially one that I'm absolutely unfamiliar with, I don't use any lights. I let the sun go down. I don't unpack my stuff right away.
Yeah.
I'm just like listening and feeling for like any vibes.
Yeah, totally.
Or any people.
Yeah.
Or any animals.
Yeah, trusting that kind of gut, because I feel like part of the nervousness is like I gotta unpack all my shit right now.
Yeah.
But the lights thing is super interesting, having no lights, because I feel like I've said this lots of times before, but when I was soloing desert a lot, specifically Anza Borrego, I'm low light too. I don't even want to have a campfire most of the time, because there's something about just like feeling like, okay, this fire can be seen for miles. That is, especially when you're solo. Like, for me personally, pretty unnerving, like, so I always try to keep stuff super low and just kind of hang out. But even then, sometimes too, then the dark freaks me out.
Yeah.
So looking for people, animals, and just vibe in general.
Yeah, just really listening.
Yeah.
Listening and like feeling that the hair on the back of your neck stands up.
And so if you get that feeling, you're like, all right, different spot.
Yeah, different spot.
That's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, and it also depends on where you're at in the U.S. too. Like, I wouldn't be able to kind of like soothe myself in the same way if I was in like a deep woods, like the Ozark.
Yeah.
Or the Blue Ridge Mountains. That would be get there when it's light.
Yeah, yeah.
Feel it out in the daytime.
Yeah.
Set up your camp and then be inside by the time you can't see anymore.
Yeah, totally. So that kind of best practice is mostly for if you're rolling up to a camp in like the evening, where you're
rolling in the evening, and definitely rolling in to the desert, and even better if it's a full moon too. Then you could really like, I didn't I stayed at this spot called Snaggletooth, and I didn't use a light the entire time I was out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I stayed up kind of late.
Yeah. Do you feel, if you were to pick, do you feel more comfortable in, like, what, like in desert, in trees, in like high desert, mountains? What's the place where you feel most comfortable?
My most comfortable is definitely desert, grasslands, and badlands.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the feeling of being able to see for a long ways.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I feel like I don't want to see. But
bro? Absolutely not.
I'd way rather be in like the thick forest than the desert. The desert, it's definitely grown on me in the last year, but it used to freak me out pretty. I would have to, like, some of those trips where I was getting used to desert solo camping, it was like a challenge to myself. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go out and like be able to relax. It was more like, okay, I want to start kind of doing what you're saying, being more in tune with the desert, being more in tune with the vibe, getting comfortable being out there and being seen from afar. You know, I feel like weirdly, one of my favorite, I guess, like environmental features is like camping next to a meadow, because it's kind of both worlds, like on the tree line. You know, because you can kind of see the meadow out there, but you're in the trees still. It's like I feel like that's like my favorite vibe solo for sure. Little mixture. You're saying no?
I'm just like, Well, me and my homies, we rolled up to this spot. It was like BLM outside of Mount Rainier last year.
Uh-huh.
And I found it before dark, and I sent out the GPS. So in that scenario, I'd be in bed when the sun goes down, but I have to wait for my homies now.
Yeah.
And it was just like the woods was so dense, and it's like every single tree is just something for somebody to hide behind.
Yeah.
And the homies came, and we had a little bit of a scary vibe, but then it's like you're with a group, like what are they going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next morning we found like there was these weird campsites around us that I didn't notice in the darkness when I rolled in. First off, there was somebody camping like really close to us. They were just on the other side of a bunch of downed trees.
Yeah.
So there was somebody in the area that I didn't spot. And then the campsite that was directly next to us didn't have any sign of campers, but it had dolls. It had muddy dolls and a bicycle.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So when I think of woods, that's the last like deep woods experience that I had.
Dude, yeah.
But in the same area, I guess kind of like you said, I the next night I was camping by myself, and I found like a nice like tree line along like a really wide dry river, and that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see to the other side.
Tree line. It's nice to like feel the river's soothing too. So I guess that's in kind of that same vein. Would you rather have noise or no noise? Like a river, like wind through the trees, crickets, frogs, or silence?
A little noise, definitely a little noise.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, my favorite noise is the cicadas.
Ooh, okay, yeah, very calming. Yeah, I can see. I don't think I've ever heard cicadas. Do we have them out here?
We don't have.
Yeah,
them here.
I don't think I've ever heard those. But that's interesting because I feel like it would be almost the opposite, because like you're saying, so liking a visual perspective of far, so you can see something coming. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you would think you would like quiet so you can hear something coming.
Yeah. Well, aren't you somebody that posted like that our brains are soothed by birds because when the birds stop, that means there's
no
a predator?
Yeah.
So my brain totally tunes into that. If there's no other
animal
noises,
that's like worst case scenario if there
like,
are animal noises and all of a sudden they stop.
Yeah.
That cannot be good. Ever. You know, like that means some shit is happening.
Yeah. So the absence of wildlife around me, like the absence of sound in a wooded area, because obviously in the desert you're not going to hear anything.
Yeah.
That does bring about like there's a predator near me.
Definitely. And that's been honestly one of my biggest fears since I was a kid, is hearing something and not knowing where it's coming from. I don't know what it is, like or not knowing like the source of it. So it's kind of like white noisy to be able to hear animals and crickets and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, on my last episode, I told 2 really scary stories about stuff outside my tent that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
And that's why I sleep in my car now.
Yeah.
I can't hear nothing.
I know. But like, did you hear the coyotes last week?
Absolutely not.
Oh my! They were so loud.
They were like in our campsite.
Yeah, you and
Everybody
Whitney,
was
too.
talking about it, and then next morning I was like,
Dude, it was nuts because we could. I thought it sounded like a kid yelling at first, and it sounded far. And that's what freaked me out in the desert. Kind of the same thing. How I feel like a lot of my experiences with coyotes tends to be like this: is you hear them really far, and then it's usually just like one or two. Like you can do like the, and then you hear the other ones that they're calling to. And then for some reason, I guess I'm just always in their place of where they're going to meet up, but it always gets closer and closer and closer. And that freaks me, that super freaks me out.
so you're afraid of coyotes?
No, I would say no, but because I don't think coyotes would necessarily attack someone,
Right.
right? But just that something approaching freaks me out. Mm-hmm. Anything. Even I've realized in desert, it's even the shadows approaching. So like when you're in the desert and it's noon, there's no shadows. One of the things that made me feel super nerved from spending more time, because when I got freaked out about camping in the desert, I wanted to know why. Like, so I when I would solo camp in the desert, I'd make note of like what is making me feel uneasy right now. Mm-hmm. And one of the things was the same aspect of something approaching as the sun goes down and the shadows creep towards you.
Oh.
That was one.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that was the same kind of thing about the coyotes too. Mm-hmm. And also too, I feel like the landscape changing in the shadows with the desert, because like I said, it's always like I usually get there in the daytime, so everything looks flat. So like a crest, or like, what do you call like the feature of the mountain that kind of like comes down, like the crests that are coming down seem like they're not there even when it's noon, but as it comes down, he's like, oh wow, like there's more kind of reaching towards me than I really initially thought. Like you can start to see like the shapes of the mountains, and I think it's that subtle change that happens as dark approaches that leaves me uneasy. Whereas in the forest, it's just kind of like, yeah, the shadows are moving, but it's like,
yeah, the shadows are moving.
more like,
You're
like,
surrounded by shadows.
yeah, more like I don't know. It feels like more.
You're in a shadow.
Yeah,
Period.
Yeah, at night.
No, like even during the day, like having a really dense like forest covering.
Yeah.
It's like I can't see things move as fast as I could.
Yeah,
if it was clear.
Yeah, see, I feel like it's the opposite for me. I don't know what it is. But that's why I spent a lot of time in the desert, because I wanted to figure out why it was freaking me out.
As somebody that like really like watches light closely, because I like to take pictures, I never thought of the outlining of the ridges making me nervous. That's really interesting for you to say that.
Yeah.
That's like what I look forward to most. Yeah, that's when the best pictures happen.
And I don't know what it is about it. Like, I guess I'd have to really like sit and think about it more. But like I said, I can only like the times when I came up with realizing that made me uneasy was when I had to go out solo and kind of like you said, feel that untetheredness and be very like self-aware of times when I felt like my nerves would go up. Yeah, I don't know, the exposure of like just the desert, I think. But some people really love it,
Yeah.
And I think the silence too. Weirdly, it's like something a little disheveling about one visual input changing, but it's just the auditory aspect is silent. In the transition between day and night, also freaked me out a little.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like desert has like more different kind of ghost energy.
Yeah, not to talk too much about my art project, but I was researching, like, I mean, we kind of talked about it last week in, like, people say, like, oh, camping's not for me, but it's like, all of our ancestors have been doing it for so long.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so much lore around, like, people, like, kind of, like, connecting with their divine creator in the desert.
Yeah.
Like, people go out there to fast. They go out there for like spiritual guidance, and in my own experience, I'm very skeptical to all those things, but I also found like a deep appreciation for just obviously the vast wide open spaces. That's my favorite to be in, but also enjoying like these weird altars that people have left behind. So many people leave religious iconography in the desert. It's crazy.
Okay.
Like I actually, my mentor was looking at my pictures and he's like, "Do you realize this is happening?" And I was like, "Oh, well, now that you mention it, yeah, I guess half of my pictures are religious in some way.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not.
Yeah.
So I thought, I think the desert does have a really weird vibe, and obviously humans have sought it out for a long time specifically for that weird vibe and to test themselves in a certain way.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like like stripping away, the ultimate stripping away of everything. You know, in its purest form. Mm-hmm. What kind of iconography have you found out there?
Well, my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite was like, people leave a lot of trash out in the desert.
For sure.
And the desert just eats it.
Yeah.
The desert doesn't care what it is. It's just going to pound away at it with heat and wind. Mm-hmm. And I found, those plastic blow up things that people put in their front lawns for Christmas?
Yeah.
So I found... First, I found like one of the wise men, and I was like, "Whoa, that's weird!"
Oh, what? Like a blow up one, or like the plastic,
the hard plastic.
Oh, you put like a light in.
Yeah.
Usually? Oh,
so it's like a hard faded wise men.
Yeah.
In the desert, and I was like,
faded all the colors out of it.
Yeah, because the desert was chewing at it.
That's like ghostly looking.
Yeah. Well, it gets worse because then I found the baby Jesus.
Oh my god!
And the baby Jesus was surrounded by these really bright green. What's that? What's the thing that the Wook people do? The like nitrous gas?
Oh yeah, like whippets?
Yeah. So it's surrounded by bright green whippets canisters.
What the fuck?
So it's this baby Jesus that is like really sitting pristinely. His eyes are closed. He's taking a cute little nap, and he's just like surrounded by some of these fucking whippets pile.
Dude, this was like there was no other people around in this area?
It was within the confines of Slab City, but it wasn't it wasn't in any of the established like art zones.
Oh, ew.
It was weird, right? That's weird.
Yeah, that's super weird.
Yeah. Then I went by several like abandoned buildings that again were just being chewed away by the desert. Like people just left them one day. And I found a ton that said like Jesus is coming, and I was like, wow, that's such like a weird like overall image. Like you have this like wide barren landscape, you have this building that's decrepit, and then somebody thought to go tag that Jesus is coming on it.
Huh?
And it's like coming for who? It's coming for who? I when I was doing my writing section of the project, I said it's like the theme of it continuing to come up was like a compass that actually pointed to nowhere. It's like there's these remnants of people trying to find their way and deal with their pain, but you can't look at the altars and find a definite answer to how they solve that.
Yeah. You just look like there was definitely an attempt.
Yeah,
out there.
There was an attempt.
Yeah. Wow. Which I feel like in the grand aspect of things, we're all attempting to accomplish something by coming outside.
Yeah. I go for space.
Yeah.
I wrote about that too.
Yeah.
Because I had to answer that to my own self. Like, if everybody's coming out for this thing that you don't necessarily subscribe to, why are you here?
Yeah.
And it's for space.
Yeah.
And it's to like cut away all those other things so that I could just be in the moment. And almost like one of the things that I'm escaping is the weight of my own thoughts, right? Because if I'm so focused on being where I'm at, camping in the desert, in the woods, wherever, there's an absence of that thought. Like there's that state of meditation in which that inner voice is like, we just got to pay attention to what's ahead of us now.
Yeah. It's very... I guess like Zen in a way.
Yeah.
You're very in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not in a way that I feel like I'm in danger.
Yeah.
It's in a way that I'm checking for danger, but I'm not stressed about it.
Yeah. So it's almost like giving your mind a task. It's kind of hard to explain. It's almost like runner's high, meaning like you have a task that you're obviously doing, and we do it so much that kind of gives your mind a chance to breathe, because it's routinely focus on something that's not, I guess, like entangled with all this other crap like it usually is.
Yeah. Like we talk a lot about the anthropological aspect of camping and how I feel like the both of us also see camping as a return to what we should be doing. Right?
Totally. Yeah. And I feel like, do you feel like the goal, or do you experience, what do you experience that we take back into our non-camping life from camping? Have you, like, obviously I feel like a lot of times the benefits are kind of like subliminal, but is there anything in like your non-camping quote unquote real life that you can see has directly benefited you from camping, that you've brought in back to the city, quote unquote?
Yeah, I think definitely the mind quietness. And then the other thing is just kind of like having that wild curiosity for learning about the things around me, whether it's geology, the birds, the plants, the bugs, all that stuff. I want to, I have this deep desire to learn more about it, but learn on a scale that I wouldn't learn if I'm outside. Like it supplements and it makes that outdoor experience even better the next time. So it's just like cyclic thing of just getting better and better at being outdoors.
Hell yeah, dude. I feel like that's definitely a good way to put that and bring that back in. We should bird more. I feel like we should have a bird journal book.
Yeah, I'd be getting down. The Merlin app with the Audubon app.
With the Audubon combo, chef's kiss.
That's so good.
I know, we need to do that more. That one time, I wish we were trying to call him that owl that one time. Remember on Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal one day.
Call an owl?
Yeah.
With your mouth?
That too. You can replicate it. Wonder what's out, and if there's any. Speaking of, I feel like we were hearing a lot of frogs before, but I'm not hearing anything right now. Maybe it's too late. What time is it? How long have we been going on this podcast for?
Oh my gosh, it's almost midnight.
Maybe we should wrap it up.
We've been yapping.
Yeah, we've been yapping.
I also don't hear anything, so maybe we've hit the coyote hour.
Yeah, it might be coyote hour pretty soon. So, yeah, we'll wrap it up right now. But appreciate everyone listening. Feel free to leave comments. Add me to Molly. For sure, it's not going to be the last time you're on the podcast. We want to rotate all the homies so you can get to know us as a crew. Also, too, we are kind of trying to start a super group.
Yeah.
What'd you call it?
Super camping group.
Super camping group.
We want to answer the lack of outdoor education that is out there.
Exactly, yeah. So basically, it's all the homies you see us camping with quite a bit. We kind of had a trip last week where we kind of just like thrown some ideas around. We want to come up with a name. So I'll probably do a page that we'll all contribute to. And we have some cool stuff in the works, hopefully, that we'll start rolling out just to, keep everybody's camp safe, clean, and informed, basically, and get the goals to get everybody out there. I will start to do more podcasts. Honestly, it's just been so fun being outside, and it's a lot of times, especially when we're in groups, it's like hard to just like focus on one thing because we just want to enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
But definitely we'll want to be rolling out more podcasts. Appreciate you guys being here and listening. We'll see you next time, either on the pod or on the tube or on the reels or whatever it is.
Hey, and since you're already going to leave a comment to boost this podcast, why don't you comment on what you would like to see us do?
Yeah, 100%.
You want to go camping with us? You want us to run a class?
Yeah.
What you want?
Yeah. Do you want to, should we start doing lives from places? Do you want to just sit in your home and watch us do stuff? Yeah. What would you like to see from the homies? The homies are here for you and for us. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, we'll sign it off with that. Later.
Right.
Later, everyone.
Later.